I'm Sarah Russell.
I'm J.Q. Walker.
Mint, and we are
The Neurodivergent Report, a research-based podcast by and for neurodivergent brains.
In each episode, we'll explore topics relating to neurodiversity and coping strategies by reviewing the literature and discussing current topics.
We will also have interview episodes where we sit down with experts in the field and listeners like you, with the hope that together we can all learn to heal in community.
However you are able to engage, thank you for being here. Anyway, this is awesome. So, I'm going to need to practice your last name, though. I might give up.
There's two ways to say it, believe it or not. My grandfather and his brother, they took the last name and took it two different directions. How we say it is the American style version, Liam Saranich. But like the European, it goes Liam Saranich. And you'll meet some of my family. Like I have cousins that say it that way, and I have some of us just say it the other way. And it's just funny being at family events, and then some people are yelling out the other way of saying it, and I'm like, what? What is going on?
Americanized last names are really interesting. You're not the first person I've asked to pronounce their last name, obviously. Yeah, I met this Indian guy and I expected it to be like something I couldn't pronounce, but it was literally phonetic. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, well, I guess that was racist of me. Like, my bad.
My bad, guy. I'm sorry. But
I mean, self-awareness is really important. And also, like, people know your intention.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm a little goofy.
My hairdresser, like my guy that cuts my hair, he's Croatian. He's from Croatia. And we had no clue at first.
What are the chances?
I know. We walked in, and my brother has autism. He's just so curious about people and stuff. He's just like, so where are you from exactly? And the guy was like, oh, I'm from Croatia. He's like, oh my God, my last name.
No way. You know what? That would be me. I would be asking the questions.
How's it going? My name's Liam Saranich, as Sarah introduced me. I'm a Eastern Connecticut State University student. I'm graduating in a month, and I'm out of here. And my goals after this is to try to get into podcasting and entertainment and try to freelance a lot, like that stuff. So that's like the big goal for me. Is I love doing these things. I love jumping on people's podcasts and stuff. This is probably the fourth podcast I've been on now, and I'm pretty happy about it. I'm trying to get on more. I'm getting on another podcast as well, hopefully soon. But I like to get out there. I like talking. I like doing these things, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, you were trying to sum up your whole vibe, and I caught some keywords, entertainment, podcasting, history, people. History. You love those things. I love those things. Yeah, so that's why we're here. We're going to talk about those things and probably some other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think I'm going to ask you a totally random first question. Ice cream is really close to my heart. I've worked at 2 different ice cream places. Anyway, so what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Sherbet.
What kind?
The orange one. Whatever orange is. Orange and green. I get like the mixture. And there's like this farm in my hometown that is like they make ice cream and stuff with the cows they have there. They make sherbet ice cream, and I would go there sometimes, and that's like probably like my favorite sherbet. Yeah, I know like people are like vanilla and chocolate and strawberry. I'm like, nah, I'll take sherbet. Some people are like, did you just sneeze? I was like, no.
Amazing. Have you ever mixed orange sherbet with orange soda?
No, I'm not a soda drinker.
Well, but it's like a float, so it kind of ceases to be soda.
Okay. Yeah, I have a weird thing with soda. I get very like skittish with soda. But
let's talk about it.
Yeah, my soda skittishness.
Yeah.
So I have growing up, I had major anxiety, right? So like there's like certain things I was afraid of, right? And like I couldn't eat and stuff. So like I got like nervous if I drank soda, I was gonna throw up. So I'd always like avoid soda, and I still do because I get in that mindset of like, if I drink soda, I'm gonna get sick, I'm gonna throw up, and it's gonna be bad, and it's over. The worst fear I had, but I don't have anymore though, was I was afraid of the moon. If I was outside when the moon was out, I was like, I'm gonna throw up and get sick. That was like the biggest
Gonna be a
thing.
werewolf.
Yeah. So like for me, it's like throwing up's probably my biggest thing, and I would associate it with certain stuff. So it's like I couldn't go to the movie theaters because they were too dark, because I was afraid I'm gonna get sick because I get so anxious. So stuff like that, my brain was hardwired for so long, so I had to like do a lot of like, my parents would force me to be outside at night with them to like be like, you're not going to throw up, like you're not going to get sick.
Oh my
Like,
god. Exposure therapy.
it was literally, they're like,
Trial by fire.
yeah, they're like, we're going to the movie theaters, you're not going to throw up. And I'm like, okay. And eventually, after I kept doing it after a while, it was fine. But like but like soda I still can't do. And rainbow goldfish, I don't know why, they just taste so different than regular goldfish that I'm like, I get nervous, I'm gonna throw up, or I gag when I smell it. So, but yeah,
That's very interesting. And
yeah,
I am going to make a note
yeah,
about that and ask you later.
that's fine. Yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah, I like to get really creative with food, which is why I asked you about, the combination of the sherbet and the soda. I also love sherbet, but I prefer raspberry.
oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Mhm.
You can't always find it by itself,
Mhm.
but,
Yeah, yeah,
every once in a while.
yeah.
Awesome. So,
Mhm.
who are you? You're just about to graduate from college. What are you majoring in? Let's do the little obligatory.
So I'm a communications major with a minor in history. I was a former history major and secondary ed major, swapped swapped completely, did a 180 halfway through my college career to do communications, because I realized I want to do entertainment. I like
Mhm.
making people laugh. I like fucking joking around with people. I like, I like that stuff a lot. So I realized that's what I want to do. So I swapped to communications. I still got my history minor, which is great. So I still got my history classes in. But yeah, a lot of that stuff for me is just like really what I like to do. And I'm looking forward to a lot of the opportunities I have, like going on like this podcast and other podcasts in the future, and really get myself out there so people can like see who I am, a little bit more. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
It
yeah,
does make sense. I think you'll find that that's really the only way. You
yeah,
have to get yourself out there. Sometimes you have to get creative.
yeah,
You have to do like podcasts and do some writing, or,
yeah,
go places in real life and do things digitally.
yeah.
Um,
And I
yeah.
do a lot of public speaking at other universities and stuff, which luckily
Ooh, tell me about that. Why? Why do you do
so
that?
so I actually do public speaking about my learning disability. So like, there's this particular
Okay, cool.
guy I do it with. He's a professor from Mitchell College, and we met and we became friends because we worked in a summer program here at Eastern. So we met and talked, and he was like, "Hey, I think you're a cool guy. I think you have a lot to say. I would like to see you um, do a public speaking thing at UConn." And at
Mhm.
this point, I've hated public speaking. I was like very much like, no, I can't do it. There's no way. But like something about it, I was just like, sure, I'll give it I'll give it a try. And I did it. I did it from like 200 people at UConn, and I loved it. I was like, oh, this is great. Like I could tell people my story and just tell them about like learning disability and like what got me to be who I am, like the why the way I am.
Mhm.
And ever since then, I've done 4 public speaking things. I'm gonna probably do another one soon. Another 2 ones. I'm not really sure where yet, but I gotta talk to them and figure that out. But I've spoken at UConn, Wesleyan University, University of New Haven, I think that was the other one. So, or Hartford. It was one of the two. I can't remember, but that was a while ago. So, but I loved it. I love doing that stuff. Because I just talk about my learning disability. I just sit there. I'm just like, yeah, this is kind of it. This is why I talk funny sometimes, or I'm like, I'm like, this is why I like, don't have me read a book out loud because you don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to hear me
So
read.
it sounds like you tell your story in
Yeah.
like a funny,
Oh yeah,
but probably relatable way.
yeah.
I love that. And it feels like no big deal to you.
Yeah, because people are like,
Yeah.
my friends. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but my friends
No.
are like, yeah, you don't have a learning disability. Like when some of my friends meet me at first, they're like, no, and I'm like, give me a book, and they give me a book, and they're like, read this out, and I'm like, oh, what do you want me to read? They're like, read this. I'm like, all right, and I start reading. They're like, okay, stop, I can't. Like, like I'm like, it's just me being like the cat and like, and I'm like the cat in the hat, and I have an issue of just like my brain just be funny sometimes with reading, and it's because like last night my friends were some friends were over and they want because I had to study for this exam and I was reading this thing. They're like, "Can you read it out loud?" I was like, "You don't want me to do that." They're like, "Come on," and then and I started reading. They're like, "Oh my god, never mind." This
Like they think it's a party trick.
Oh yeah, they think it's hilarious. And I think it's funny as hell because
Freak show's over, guys.
yeah, yep, it's over. Packing it up, books away. So
Okay, so that's interesting. I don't think I've actually asked you yet what your learning disability is, but just going based off what you described, is it dyslexia?
it's so I used to have an issue with dyslexia a little bit when I was younger, but it's
Or at
auditory.
least that's what they called it back then.
Yeah, it's auditory
Yeah.
perception disorder. It's the same thing my dad has. So it's like you sound out words and you like
What
you
did
take
you
the word
call it?
auditory perception disorder. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that's
of
what it's called.
course.
Yeah. So same thing my dad has, and I think that's what it is. I think if I remember correctly. But yeah, like us reading a book or reading a speech out loud. That's why like me and my father, when we do speeches, we don't have anything out in front of us to read. We just try to memorize it because if we try to like read it instead of like saying it, then we get caught up on the words because our brains have a hard time like reading the word out loud and like like it's like when you read in your head, you're sounding out the words and stuff, but you're out loud sounding it out and breaking the word down. So I'm just kind of like it's like let's say like through. It's just like
I don't know if you saw me I don't know if you saw the light bulb come on,
I
but
saw a little bit. I saw
did
light.
click for me, and I just want to make sure you know that we're on the same page now. Because at first I was like, wait a minute, auditory processing disorder? Like, what does that have to do with reading?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
Sorry, no shade.
yeah, it's a lot of like saying it out loud. Like you might like
No, it's the other part. It's not the reading. It's
yeah,
it's the saying
it's
it
just
out loud.
yeah. So it's like I have a hard time reading, of course, and everything. It's just because my brain has a hard time breaking down the word,
Sure.
So it's like when you're younger and like you're with a learning disability and you take like these special ed classes, they teach you how to do like the tricks, how to break the word down. So they break it into 3 sections or break it into a few sections. So that's how like my brain had processed how to do it. So like when I read out loud, I'm basically doing the trick out loud in front of other people so that I can get the word down. So I'm like saying the word. I'm gonna say the word eventually. Hopefully, if I don't, someone's gonna be like, "You mean this?" I'm like, "Yes, that's probably what I meant when I'm saying that word."
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
I also struggle with auditory processing,
Yeah.
but I've always really loved to read out loud and like just read in general, and like I was in like the gifted classes. But my dad was in special ed. My dad still struggles with spelling and things because he sort of just built up like a contempt for the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I can't like
Which I understand.
I like how my dad described it perfectly to me was it's like I'm not I don't remember I have to like study the word to know how to spell the word. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I don't keep practicing like spelling the word out, I'm gonna forget how to spell it, and I'm not gonna know how to spell it eventually. And it's just like my brain, because my brain has just, it's like memorizing the word, instead of like,
Yes.
so if that makes
Yeah.
sense, it's like really
I
like,
memorize like patterns.
yeah,
Yeah, and like combinations. So I
it's
get
just
that.
it's just like that with the word basically, because there's like
Yeah.
certain like super long words. I'm just like, how do you know that? I'm like, because I just practiced the word. Don't ask me to spell the word because I don't know how to fucking spell
I
it.
get I get lost while I'm spelling a word. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, "Ooh, wait, where was I?" And then I have to like draw the word in my brain.
Well,
I don't like it.
what are you here?
Yeah.
So let's bring it back here. Is that I'm right on the track?
Yeah, I'm actually much better with just stuttering than
Yeah.
trying and just like moving on than trying to like go back and fix it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I'd rather not. So I guess I've just developed different coping mechanisms
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
some of the stuff.
I was mentioning earlier, I take the acting class, and you have to
Yeah.
like read the lines out loud sometimes.
Oh.
And I full transparent to each person I work with, I look at them and I'm like, I just so you're aware, I'm gonna have a hard time reading this. I might show you the word, and you're just gonna have to tell me what it is because I'm not gonna know how to say it. And you're just gonna tell me, and I'll pick it up hopefully after that. And then I work with them, and it's great because they're very understanding. Luckily, the people I work with, and
Yeah.
it's pretty known in the class now that Liam has a hard time just saying words out loud, or
Mhm.
reading out loud and stuff. So, yeah, and luckily, it's good. I luckily got people that are very understanding, but for a while, it was very like to like be like, by the way, can you tell me what this word is? And they're like,
Mhm.
what? So,
Yeah. It's great.
mm.
Have you noticed a shift in how people understand it
Oh
in
yeah,
the last like 10 years?
yeah, because I definitely think 10 years ago when I was in school, and I would be doing the same thing where it's like I tell the person like, listen, like I don't read that well sometimes. It's
Yeah,
not
you're
that
doing your best to advocate for
yeah,
yourself.
like I'm not an idiot. Like I'm not dumb. Like I know my things.
I'm not dumb. I'm just a little slow.
I'm just yeah.
Please
Like
bear with me.
you
That's
understand,
how I
right?
feel.
Yeah.
I was
Like
just saying that.
I'm trying to catch up. Like
Yeah.
you're I'm in the little league. You're in the big league. Can you work with me? I'm trying to help me get to the big leagues. So like, yeah,
No.
but no, but and they would just be like, what do you mean? And like, and then
Yeah.
I would start reading. They're like, yeah, that means that, and then just give like that weird look. But like nowadays, just like I think more people as I've gotten older, because I think it has to do with a lot of age and not time period. Which I feel like it's more well known, of course, but as a kid and stuff, kids are not gonna know what any of this shit is and what that means and stuff like that. So they're just gonna be like, yeah, sure, yes. But then when they're older, they're gonna be like, I do remember this as a kid, but now I understand it. You know what I'm saying? So like a
Yes.
lot of these people, I think when they're kids knew about this shit, and then when they meet someone like me when they're older, and they're like, oh, this is actually a person that literally has a hard like he's not dumb, but he just has a hard time reading. So because I a lot of time with like history and stuff, I listen to a lot of like videos. I just listen to a lot of videos and stuff, and like would
Hmm.
retain it like that and like watch videos, and I wouldn't read like a lot of the like
But
what
you can't process it the other way
yeah, I can't do
as
the other.
well.
So I
That's so interesting.
with history and stuff, a lot of my history I fell in love with. Like a lot of it started with like learning the history of like the Marvel universe and like Star Wars and stuff, like some things like that. And I'm just like, well, I like history, I like stories, and the history is kind of like these stories. So I started listening to like
Yes.
history stuff like that, and it helped me be like this is what this is like, and I can listen to it. And then people are like, what book did you read to understand that? I'm like, I didn't read a book. I just watched videos and like understood the subject and like listened in class, and yeah, that's how I was able to do it.
Let's circle back a little bit to your childhood and just say, like, were you diagnosed with anything as a kid as a result of like the processing issues?
So I was diagnosed with a learning disability, of course. What it was exactly, they didn't like understand yet. But
Gotcha.
it was pretty clear to everyone that it was the same thing my father had, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like
Is your father well spoken?
my
Like, is
father,
he your basic white guy or
he is how do I explain it? He
take your
he's
time?
he's very well spoken individual, but he practices it all the time. So he works extremely hard, which I look up to him a lot of time for that because he and my dad, he's a little more, he's like white, but he's more on like the darker side too a little bit, if that makes sense. Like if you look at my skin tone to his, he's a little.
So, yeah, I mean, you said earlier that you're Eastern European,
Yeah,
and I do know from experience that like the olive,
yeah. He's got
yeah,
like
that can
he's got
happen.
the olive sort of skin tone.
Yeah.
And like my sister's got that a little bit too. Me and my brother got stuck with.
Interesting, but I can tell that you have like blue eyes.
Oh yeah, I got like gray blue eyes, and that's from my
What the
mom.
heck?
That's from my mom. Yeah, I got my mom's eyes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no one else in my family. All my siblings got the brown eyes from my dad, so they all got stuck with that, and I got the crystal blues, and like, they're all upset by it. They're like, "Why does he get the baby blues?" And I get stuck with like brown.
I'm the only one that got the brown eyes, and everybody else in my family got like beautiful other colors, and I'm just like, what the heck? So I get that. I get that sentiment.
So
But yeah, I'm
like
glad the mom eyes live on. I love
yeah,
that.
like I got my you can't see the beard, but I got my dad's chin. He's got like a butt chin, so do I a little bit.
Sure.
And then
My
I got my
sister-in-law has that.
yeah, and my dad. I got my mom's eyes, but my dad has like more of like an olive skin tone.
Okay. Okay. Wait, was he born in America
Yeah,
or
yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's just weird because my grandparents like pale, but he was
Okay.
born like more of like olive.
Genes are interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I'm looking at him like, Dad, you were adopted. He's like, I hope not. Like, I think that was, I think it's my parents for the last 50 years. I'm like, I hope so too.
All right. All right. Yeah, that's so interesting.
But my dad,
I've been thinking a lot about race lately because I
yeah,
just finished reading the Racial Healing Handbook,
yeah,
and I've been thinking about the white immigrant experience a lot.
yeah.
Anyway,
So,
but that doesn't have to be what this is about.
oh no, I mean, I'm very. I took a DNA test. I can tell you all my percentages of all that stuff. I got a lot
Mhm.
of, got a lot of everything from Europe, and I got some Native American in me. So,
That's
pretty,
so interesting.
I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
But my dad's pretty well spoken. He's a superintendent of a school district. So
Amazing.
he's worked his ass off a lot to get where he's at. And he does amazing speeches for like the graduating classes and stuff. But that takes months of practice. Like he
Mhm.
has to really practice it to not flub up flip up the words while he's reading it like I do sometimes.
Sure.
So he takes that very serious and he takes his time really wisely and he just got his doctorate. So he's been working really hard to get where he's
Wait,
at.
really?
Yeah, he just got his doctorate. So yeah. Yeah, he's a very I look up to him a lot because he's got the same shit I got going on, but he doesn't let that like stop him. And luckily my mom's very great wife to him and she helps him out a lot with like proofreading his stuff, making sure it's always like
They're good
sounds
partners.
great partners.
They
Yeah,
balance a
they
little the
balance
skills.
they balance very well, very well.
That's great.
So they
It's rare. That's rare. But
as much as
I'm
she
glad you
does
had
for him,
that
yeah,
example.
as much as
Don't settle for less, friend.
no, trust me, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. But as much as my mom does for him, he does as much back. So
Right.
he takes care of her a lot. So you know that means going to a winery every week with her. So I mean, hey, they have fun. They go to wine
Yep.
tasting. I'm like,
They have hobbies. That's nice.
yeah,
Okay. Well, would you say then is your brother older than you?
I got an older brother. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then So you already told me then that your brother
Mhm.
has an autism diagnosis. Was
Mhm.
that when he was young?
They didn't diagnose him until freshman year of high school. So they
That
didn't,
seems
yeah,
unconventional.
yeah, yeah. We
So
we all
interesting.
knew in the household that like there was something with my brother, of course. Like we all knew like there was something going on with him, but we didn't know like kind of what, because he's very like he comes off very normal, just very, very socially awkward, my brother.
Sure.
He just has a hard time like interpreting like people's emotions and like explain it. But it's just his Asperger's, so he has a hard time with like just understanding people's emotions and just kind of expressing well enough for himself.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. The affect, like how
Yes.
the display. Yeah,
Mhm.
totally. I
His,
mean, it takes a lot of effort when
yeah,
it's not intuitive. Yeah, think about how hard it is to memorize a speech. Yeah, and they're memorizing their facial structure
yeah. That's literally what it is for him. Yeah. So we got the
and
two
like
opposite
vocal
ends.
tone.
Yeah, we got like
Like
the two
that
opposite.
matches that emotion. Do your
Yeah,
inflection like this to indicate this emotion.
yeah.
That's a lot to
So
think about.
yeah.
Gosh. I
So
love to perform though.
you'll perform what?
I don't know.
Oh, like just like
Yeah,
act.
I think in general, I've always enjoyed to perform. And so being a human
Yeah.
is
Let's
just
say,
like constantly
yeah.
performing.
Yeah, and
Um,
I agree. I'm always doing that. I feel like I'm always putting a brave face.
yeah,
So,
amazing. So, okay, so before I was going to ask you about sensory processing stuff,
mhm.
which obviously, yes, you do have sensory processing stuff. You were telling me earlier about food aversions.
Yes,
And
yeah.
usually that comes up a lot with sensory processing disorder,
Mhm.
which is huge with autism, also
Yeah,
like a huge comorbidity.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. My brother definitely has that too
Yeah.
with food.
Yeah, I mean, I think to some degree we all have like some kind of aversions. To what degree it like impacts you, to what
Mhm.
degree you'll avoid it. Like what lengths will you go to avoid your mashed potatoes?
Yeah, I'd go very far. I'd go very far to avoid the soda. That's for me
Is
though.
it the bubbles in the throat?
I don't know. It's just because I drank soda one time for the first time as a kid and I threw up like after
Okay.
that. So I just after
Yeah.
that I was just like it must have been from the soda. It was
Yeah.
because I was probably sick, but for my brain, it was because of the
Sure.
soda. Like
Well, and now it's ruined.
yeah, now it's ruined. So
Hmm.
I've never had Coke or Pepsi. But I've never had Pepsi. I've had Coke, but I've never had Pepsi, so I have no idea what that tastes like, or root beer. And people are
That
always like,
sounds super healthy for you.
yeah, and people
Yeah.
are like, "You've never had Pepsi? Have you? What childhood did you live?" I was like, fear and torment. I was locked in the basement forever, and now I'm free, and people believe it. So
No. Yeah, people believe a lot of things.
yeah,
Amazing. I was gonna ask you, I think, what kind of movie you like, or what's your favorite? What's your favorite movie? I hate that question.
my favorite movie. I'll answer it though. Is I'm a big movie guy actually. On my
Yeah.
podcast, funny enough, I do a movie review at the end of my podcast every time. So like we would watch a movie and we would review the movie on the podcast at the end of the show, like the last like 30 minutes or so. So my favorite movie is No Country for Old Men, and my second favorite is Manchester by the Sea. Both very sad movies, but I love horror movies. That's probably my favorite genre of movies. So I like watching horror movies and like just that feeling of like that like suspense. I don't know. I just like that.
Tension.
Yeah, that really like makes me feel like gets my like adrenaline pump because I don't know.
Yes.
Like I was saying earlier, like I had like a lot of fears as a kid. Like always like, had major anxiety, everything like that. So I feel like those movies don't bring me back, but they like get that same feeling again because I feel like I've kind of tapped out my fear my fear button, so I don't really get scared a lot. So when I can like actually like get that feeling from something, that's like really like, so if that makes sense.
That's so interesting.
So yeah, because my yeah, I don't know why. Just like I don't get afraid of things in real life now more, just because of that. Because I literally was afraid of so much shit as a kid that it's like, so if we go out and like my friends are like, this guy like one time was like harassing my friend, and I would like jump in and be like, hey, and like they're all afraid that the guy's gonna stab me, and I'm just like leave him alone. Like it was like a very confrontational thing. I didn't know, we didn't fight, but I was just like
Yeah, but
drunk.
you never know. You
Yeah,
never
drunk.
know
Yeah.
how a confrontation is going to go these days.
Oh yeah. Especially
Yeah.
especially up by Eastern. There was like a shooting that happened just like 3 weeks ago up here, just down the street. So and a guy got shot that was like around my age, and like all my friends get like nervous about that stuff, and I was just like, because he was trying to harass a friend of mine. He was very drunk, and I was just like, hey, like let's not pick on the guy that's smaller than you. Nice to meet you. My name's Liam. And then
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of like spiraled in its own thing. But just
People don't know how to de-escalate these days.
yeah,
But I get the sense that you do.
yeah. I definitely do with certain situations for sure. I definitely do. I with certain stuff I definitely feel as though I can
How tall are you?
6'1", 6 foot 6'1".
Okay,
So
so like enough to actually
yeah,
kind of be a bodyguard, you
yeah.
know?
So yeah,
Yeah.
and, like a lot of my friends, they ask me to go out sometimes, so they know I'm the bigger guy in the room sometimes, like tall height wise and like size wise. So they're like, yeah, just bring Liam here. Liam, if it gets testy, we got Liam here to like, push him in the ring. I'm like, all right. So
Were you always tall as a child?
yeah, I
Okay.
think I think I was very tall as a kid. I was taller
So
than
that was never really like part of the fear thing. Like, oh,
no,
I'm too small.
no. It was. I think a lot of my fears, I think from being a kid, were just like always afraid of getting sick, but always just always like I had like body dysmorphia a lot too as a kid. I did wrestling for 11 years. So like that caused a lot of like eating issues and stuff like that for me.
Those outfits.
Oh yeah. Felt great. People were like, were you wearing your tights today? I'm like, yep, you'll see me later. All dolled up for you. And,
What colors did you have to wear? Did they
orange,
look good?
orange and black. Not as bad as you think. It's better than some of the other places I've seen. I've seen a guy wear purple and yellow, and I was like, okay,
Oh my gosh.
I was like, it's time to go to bed, man. Like,
Okay, flowers.
yeah, night night.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that stuff, I just think like, I think like fear, like a lot of those fears and stuff nowadays for me are gone. Just because I've gotten older, of course, but I just think that I can't. I think for anyone really, it's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to be afraid forever. You know what I mean? Like there's like a difference. You see all that stuff. So I definitely try to like I'm taking this acting class because I'm afraid of like doing certain stuff like that stuff. But it's important. But I'm afraid of going in front of a room and like acting like a fool. But I'm taking it because I need to like get out of that comfort zone, And it's just like
Yeah.
things like that. I try to get rid of the fears of stuff as much as I can because the less I'm afraid, the more I'm able to be available for other people and be able to do certain stuff for people. So, but yeah, that's kind of like how I feel about like fear and stuff. So,
That's so true. I love so much of what you just said. um, I I think one of the most helpful things I ever heard was like
mhm,
do it scared.
yeah,
Like, okay, you can do it anyway and be scared. My word of the year is brave, like bravery.
yeah,
Um, just sort of was randomly picked for me.
mhm,
So That's cool. And I I resent that, but I guess we're moving forward with bravery and also a little bit of fear.
A little bit of courage, a little bit of fear, never hurt anyone. But like, it's the same thing too. It's like as much as it for fear, I think it's the same thing for sadness and depression. Because I struggle with all that stuff too, for sure. I think it's the same thing as like, you're gonna be in this funk and you're gonna live in this funk. Like the best advice I've ever got was when you're depressed or very sad is to actually just sit there and like bathe in it for a while and let it all just like soak you up for a bit. But then after a little bit, you got to get up and then you got to start doing stuff. And that's what I do. You know what I mean? So there's those days in my week where I'm just like curl up in bed and just like, do my thing for a bit. And I just sit there and let it wash over me. And then eventually you kind of let it go, I think, I think people nowadays got to be like very mindful that it's okay, and there's other people like that. Like I smile every day.
You've got to feel it to heal it.
There you go.
For sure.
That's a new shirt.
Well, I stole that from some tarot cards.
Oh. Maybe just take the picture of the tarot card and put it on the shirt then. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think where most people get stuck is they don't know what to do after. Like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like, I'm already feeling like crap. So, like, as an ADHD coach, what I did for a long time was help people come up with their, like, break in case of emergency routines. I do a similar thing where I just let myself be melty soup. And then I have to, like, get up and I'm going to move my body and I need to do something sensory. So maybe if my body is well, it's going to be dancing. If I'm less well, it's going to have to settle for like a shower. But do you have any sort of go-to ways to like,
a lot of my go-tos for sure with depression is I'm not like how I was raised was I feel like a lot of how other guys were raised too, to be very much like, you got to be very stoic. You got to be very like, you gotta like be there for everyone else. So a lot of the time, like what gets me out of the funk too is like the idea that I gotta be there for other people and stuff, but what I really do is I lie in it for a while, but then I'll start doing stuff like very simple stuff, that's not hard to do. Like I have guitar, I play guitar, so I'll pick up my guitar and I'll just play there and I'll just like listen to like the melody, and I have like quiet finger picking stuff that just like really soothes the brain. So I think stuff that's like very soothing for your brain, because with depression,
and also a slow transition.
Yeah, I think like with depression a lot is it's like anxiety sometimes too, where it's like you're getting slammed with 1,000 thoughts and they're all very drowning, but you can't just yoink yourself out of there, just like pick yourself up quick. You gotta like ease it back up. You can't just get up and be like, boom, 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 let's go. You gotta ease your way back up higher, and like doing like slow things like that, like playing guitar, listen to stuff that's like very like passive and very much not like no words, but just stuff that's just like, can go in your brain and just drown out the words, because more words on top of that, like if you listen to a song with words and then you're thinking about your stuff, you're just like, it's just colliding. But if you play stuff that's like drowning,
it doesn't always work. Sometimes
like a blank mind is a clean mind. So like I try to like put stuff in my brain that's very soft. That doesn't really like no wordy stuff. So there's no more words going through my head. If that makes sense. I don't know.
It does. I think that makes sense, especially for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got ADHD too, because my brain's like, I'm like, let's go. Like, so I'm like always running. So yeah.
I think that's great. So you mentioned having a podcast. I didn't ask you a ton of questions about that. Yeah. Do you want to say anything else about it?
Yeah. So I have a podcast called Lounging Around Podcast. It's on YouTube and Spotify. It's a comedy show. Me and my friends, we talk about kind of anything and everything, from like world views to, our own views of life and stuff, and just make very lighthearted conversations. We take sometimes hard topics and like make it very like lighthearted and not like serious. Because me and my friend are very opposite people, but we're best friends because I think that helps because we can look at each other like the same way and be like, I see where you're coming from, different view. I might not agree with you, but I respect it, and that's kind of like where it is with me and
Yeah.
him.
Well, that's good modeling.
Yeah. And if people want to reach out to me, I'm on Instagram, Liam_Saranich. It's probably the same name as
I'll
this.
have the link in the show notes.
Yeah. So if people want to follow me on Instagram or follow the Lounging Around podcast on Instagram, they're more than welcome to which way they want to contact me. So I'm
Fantastic.
always,
Well, I want to come lounge around.
you want to come lounge around?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do it. I'm down.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like fun, honestly.
It's a good time. Kiskin's my co-host. His name's Kiskin. His first name's Matt, but we call him Kiskin. His last name's Kiskin. He funniest guy I know. One of my closest friends, funniest guy I know. One of the smartest guys I know too. So very smart, very funny guy. Yeah, and a lot of people love him every time they hear his voice. So he's so funny. But yeah, he's a good kid. Yeah.
That's nice. I love meeting people. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great. And
Yeah. No, continue what you're saying.
I was just gonna say I love doing episode swaps.
Yeah, we'll do one for sure now. We got
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
So yeah, we could do it. I'll
Awesome.
use this recording thing too.
I'll have your people call my people.
Yes. We'll get in touch.
Oh, amazing. I forgot. I have one more question.
Yeah.
I have to shuffle up my cards first, though.
Yeah. Is this a tarot card reading?
No. That should be on a different podcast.
Yeah. That would be a great lounging around thing.
I'll bring my tarot cards to come lounge around.
That'd be great.
It'll be my debut tarot reading.
Yeah.
Live on air.
Because we do it, so in all seriousness, we record up at Easter, and we use the recording studio up here. We do it 10 to midnight, but I can get an earlier slot, so don't worry. It's not like if 10 to midnight doesn't work, we can always get an earlier slot than that.
I'd love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in bed by 9.
Yeah. Most people are.
I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah. Most people are. I don't know what keeps me and the other guy awake, but something about it just keeps us awake.
Well, when I was younger and didn't have kids, I was also up from 10 to 12.
Yeah, but me and him are up until 4 a.m, wake up at 9 a.m, and we're like, we're alive. Like, we're functioning. So.
Wild.
Yeah, so.
You should I was going to say something about analyzing your sleep.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, these cards are from a company called We're Not Really Strangers.
Yeah.
They do like relationship building decks of all types, but these are from the Confidence Boosting Edition. Please let me know if you want a different question.
Okay.
Okay. What is a promise that you've made to yourself and kept?
God. So, in all seriousness, I guess it's not so much a promise to myself, but to me and another individual. It was a promise I definitely kept to him and myself. It was my grandfather. God rest his soul. He passed away, but I promised that I would be like him a lot of ways. Very much available for people all the time. If I'm busy, to call them immediately after if they call me or text me, to like get right back to them and never leave a person hanging. Majority of the promise was to be as much available as the individual as I am to myself, and to be as like there for them as I possibly can be. Because I definitely know what it's like to not have someone that's not available for you or not have people that are available for you. So for my friends, they very appreciate that when they can just call me and be like, yo, like, da. And they know if they call me or text me, I'm going to get back to them within like 5 minutes. Like, I'm always on my phone, like, not because I want to be, but because I know, like, if someone texts me, I want to be immediately texting them back, So, yeah, that's probably a promise I give to myself, just to make sure that I'm there consistently.
It sounds like you value reciprocity in your relationships, and so you made a promise to uphold that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really nice.
Yeah, I definitely value the fact that I keep that promise to people. So, and I think people value it, or they try to. The people that value it, I appreciate them more. The ones that don't, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, you never can control how people are gonna
Mhm.
respond to you or receive you. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. I like to control things.
Yeah, it's greater. It's sometimes better, but I definitely was like that a lot, where I controlled things a lot over a long period of time. But
It caused a lot of anxiety, didn't it? Yeah, for sure. Because then you're like tied to a specific outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta let go.
Yeah, so I guess it was more so doing damage to me than it was
Physically.
than it was to anything else. So yeah.
Probably did very little to affect your situation.
Yeah, it really did. The outcomes are always the same.
Well, Liam, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. It was an honor. I honestly had a great time. And now you're gonna be on Lounging Around, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And we're gonna do a tarot card reading on Kiskin because he needs this. He needs this bad.
Okay.
So, yeah, he needs to know what his future holds for him.
I mean, maybe just knowing what his right now holds for him will be enough.
Honestly, that's probably better because I've been trying to help this guy out for so long. I need
Yeah, is he also about to graduate?
No, this is the problem. We've been the same grade forever, but now he's got to do another semester because he wasn't keeping up with stuff. So
he's a scattered genius.
Yeah. That's what we'll call it.
I get it. I had this unfortunate pattern in college where I would fail like everything one semester and then I would get A's in everything the next semester. Rinse, repeat.
Yeah. That sounds like, are you friends with Kiskin?
No, but he's probably got like ADHD, maybe some autistic traits.
Yeah. Probably. Honestly, that's what.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Yeah, he's a great kid.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much for being here, and yeah, amazing. We'll do it again.
I'm always here. I'm always down. The guest falls through. Hey, what's going on? I'll be like, just call me up. I'll put my brother on. We'll be good. So, yeah.
Awesome.
You too. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks for being here. If you want to connect with the Neurodivergent Report, you can find us at ND Report Pod on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky, Substack, etc.
If you're looking to support the show, the best thing you can do is subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Please do that.
And hey, if you want to check out more about us, visit our website at ndreportpod.com. And you can also go there if you want to be a guest contributor on the show.
Until next time, be well, do good.
Bye.